Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahawah Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, and to the bishops and elders in Connecticut, and to the brothers, well, also to the high priests and teachers that taught our apostles, and to the brothers that's out there teaching this truth, putting their lives on the line. And this is out the mouth from the Great Millstone Houston camp. And I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Let's get into Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, starting at 1. And it reads, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Right? We out there on, highways and byways teaching this truth, standing in great boldness to our enemies. In these particular enemies, they haven't made account of our labors. Right? Who was that? Esau, Edom. Right? Or the things that we went through in our past, in our history, going back into slavery. In verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, right? And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. And the strangeness of salvation is going to be them UFOs, so-called UFOs and chariots that Yahushua coming back in, right? As far beyond all that they look for, right? So yeah, it's gonna be, they ain't gonna be in just in belief, well, disbelief. I say that. Uh, well, they ain't gonna believe it. It's gonna be a shock to them. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. Yeah, you know, had us all confused and calling us by these different names, niggas, spicks, right? Okay. So yeah, those are the ones that you had in derision, so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latinos. Okay, we fools accounted his life madness. Yeah, when they see us out there on the highways and byways, who's these niggas out here? Who they think they are with these dresses on? Making mockery of us, right? And that, you can look at these people's faces. I know about 2 weeks ago when we was out there on the block, you had people just, like where we was, they were just standing and looking, right? Looking crazy, thinking we tripping. Okay? But yeah, folk, Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is the number? How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh, power, Yahweh Bashmal Shai, and his lot is among the saints? Yeah, okay. How is he numbered among? Because, hey, first and foremost, we out there showing our field doing what we supposed to be doing, right? So we can get delivered out of here. And that's gonna be the only thing, hey, the only way is up, right? Getting beamed up, in them chariots. Okay? That's the goal for the hopefully elect. Okay? Let's get on Revelation, excuse me, Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh, Bashim Shai, entered into them, right? Okay, that 3 days and a half is 350 years, right? That's going back, but let me go ahead and read it. Let me finish it off. Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh Shemel Shai entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Right? Pretty much sound what I just read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Right? Let's go hand in hand, pretty much. Okay. And at 3 days After 3 days and a half, that's 350 years, right? When we was in, serving slavery, you know, during that time period, right? And that's what 1620 to about 1970, because y'all had, we had our beloved high priest Albert Bibbins came out, Yahweh Shema Shah put in his spirit to, to teach this, bring this truth out, right? Starting with him when he came out of that, the commandment keepers, okay? So, just a little history on that. That's what that's really going into, right? Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them, right? See that? So yeah, whatever that sound, whatever that voice is, might quite sure is gonna be said in the Hebrew, come up here hither, right? We getting delivered in that one chariot. Possibly that chariot, well, I ain't gonna say possibly, but yeah, that had to be the chariot that Yahweh Shah is gonna be in that one chariot. Big old giant chariot that it says in Second Edges, the 13th chapter when you read that, right? Like a mountain. That chariot was like a mountain. You know. Let's get oh yeah, you know what? Cause I wanted to let me see, Salaki. Nah, we keep going. Let's go. First Thessalonians, right? 4 and guess 16. Let's see. Salaki. Yeah, let's get this. Hey, Salaki for that. Um, okay, yeah, Salaki. That's what I want. I don't know why I was thinking. Yeah, this is it. Salaki for that. First Thessalonians 4 and 16 for Yahweh Shema Shai, right? For the Lord Yahweh Shai himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, right? Which is Michael, right? And with the trump of Yahweh power, and the dead in Mashiach Yahweh Shai shall rise first, right? Ones that's in the graves or whatever, they're going to be rise first. They're going to be in that chariot first, okay? So, you know what, let's get this in Mark right quick. Let's get Mark 9, because we're going to have people that's going, everybody thinking that, we all going to die. Nah, that's not the case, okay? Mark 9 and 1. And he said unto them, verily I say unto you, that they, you know what, I just like doing it. I'll tell you what, I get back in it other out. But I was just in, this is just me. I like to see the words written red, right? What I'm doing. well, okay, okay. I'll get back in the blue letter with it. This Mark 9 and 1. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here, which shall not taste of death. See that? Till they have seen the kingdom of Yahweh shall come with power. Yeah, see that? So you're gonna have men that's not happy, it's not gonna get that's not gonna taste of the death, that's not gonna die, They're gonna get caught up in them chariots. Okay? So let's get back in uh First Thessalonians. 4. Oh, you know what? You know what? That's okay. I just read it. I'm not reading this out. Slacky, I'm just all over the place. Slacky for that. So First Thessalonians 4 and 16, for the Yahweh Shai himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, right? And with the trump of Yahweh power, and the dead in Mashiach Yahweh Shai shall rise first. Okay? Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord Yahweh Shai. Wherefore comfort one another with these words, right? So hey, the ones that alive are gonna get caught up in that chariot with the ones that was dead and that died in Yahweh Shai. Okay? Yahweh Shai. So we're gonna be in that chariot together, right? And said that the ones that was dead in Yahweh Shai, they're gonna get raised up first, beamed up first, then the men on earth that's doing the will of Yahweh Shai, the hopefully elect, gonna get caught up with Yahweh Shai in them chariots, man. And these are the words these words are comforting. Like I say, the only way is up. Okay? Let's get you know what? Let's get Hebrews 11. 11 and 5. This Hebrews, oh man, come on. Slacky. This Hebrews 11 and 5. By faith, Enoch, right? One of our forefathers. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. See that? Just, backing it up, what we just read in Mark 9 and 1. Okay. By faith, Enoch is translated. It's like by faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. See? And was not found because Yahweh power had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai power. Okay? So just showing you that, hey, Enoch was one of those ones, he didn't see death, he was taken up. So man, whatever Enoch was doing, it was pleasing to Yahweh Shai that he had to take him out, take him up, get him beamed up in that chariot. Okay? And that's what we want. We want that. I know I do. Okay? Let's get Isaiah right quick. Isaiah Is that 26 and 20, I believe? Yeah, this is Isaiah 26 and 20. And it reads, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed." Right? So, hey, this is the elect getting beamed up in this so-called UFO. "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers." That chamber's going into the UFO, right? "And shut thy doors about thee." You know, you know, yeah, because we want to be hidden from that pestilence, which is that the missiles, the ICBM missiles, man. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. Indignation is the righteous judgment, righteous anger of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And we want to be delivered from that, you know. That's why he's saying, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers." That's going to be the elect, starting with the elect, you know. It's going to only be the elect, right? Verse 21, "For behold, Yahweh Bashim Shai coming out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity." For y'all see that? For their sins. "The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." So it's gonna be pretty much, that's gonna be the end, man. This place getting destroyed. So man, the only way is to go up in them chariots, to get beamed up, in them chariots. Lord, you're willing, I'm a part of that number, you know. So, this I hope this been edifying to the point, just want to go into that, man. We need this pretty much is, this important to talk about. Hey, this gonna be our salvation, man. Them chariots, them so-called UFOs, man. The chariots of Israel, right? That's gonna that's gonna get the elect up out of here, you know. When Yahweh Shai gonna be on that one cloud, that one spaceship, to gather his elect, you know. So I hope this been edifying to the point. Until next time, I'm gonna give our praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahawah Kakadash. Until next time, Shalom. Shalom to the elect.